my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the comic collector geek, and I'm joined with my twin brother, the warmonger. Uh, it's like, basically, yeah. So I was telling Stephen at the beginning of this about my experiences with FedEx. So right now I was calling FedEx because I actually have a big shipment coming in from Stackery. Hi, K-Munin.
Hi, K
Uh,
Munin.
and it's going to be a pretty great unboxing if it ever gets to be unboxed.
I've heard that
Um,
one before. I've heard that before.
yeah. So it's like I think I got like a complete collection of the modern Turok. So it's going to be, you're gonna love it. You're
That'll
gonna
be a
love it.
wow.
So um, so yeah, actually, I think it's mostly Golden Age. To tell you the truth, it's like all Golden Age stuff, Golden Age junk, right? Um,
Yeah,
so yeah,
crummy golden age,
Golden
please.
Age,
Crummy golden age, please. It's
crummy,
your
yes,
terminology.
terminology correct. Hello, FF51. That's a good issue number. Uh,
Happy Monday.
yeah. So what has happened? Okay, I'll tell the quick story of the FedEx thing. Uh, it's gone from Stackery, where I consolidate all the books, to the distribution center at FedEx, and then stopped. It didn't go any further, just stopped. So I'm not sure what's going on. It's been there for about a week, and I have no idea why. So I'm just waiting, and I keep on calling them because I'm scared. I don't want my packages to get lost.
Well, it's understandable why you would want to do that. I mean, these people, they have an awful lot of stuff. It sounds screwy to me. Something I
Mhm.
think it's unless you hear otherwise, I think it's just a human screw up somewhere. Somebody hit the wrong button and it did different things, and they just have to fix it and get it to you. It may take a little longer.
Yeah, the thing that made me nervous was even the FedEx person basically said the same thing. So I was like, okay.
What did the FedEx person
They,
say?
they, they said it's something's weird. It's something screwy going on. So they said that. So it's like doesn't inspire confidence. So they're gonna do some like internal scan or thing looking for the
Sounds
boxes.
that sounds sort of personal, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, they're gonna have to cough, and then yeah, it's pretty.
Oh,
So yeah, oh, hi Kenneth.
I
So yeah,
Kenneth.
I'm just talking about my woes about dealing with
Well, it's
FedEx.
the thing is that you're at the mercy of the delivery people to bring you your stuff, and if it doesn't come when
Mhm.
it's supposed to come, you get your juices set for something to come, and then it doesn't come, and then you're kind of going, okay, fine, now what? And
Mm.
that stuff, honestly, that stuff happens. I've had that where actually I had it coming from my comic shop one
Mhm.
time where they had that big snowstorm or whatever it was down in
Oh
Texas a while
yes,
ago,
yes.
and I got books that I had ordered long since. I'd ordered the one that and was waiting and waiting and waiting, and then they said unforeseen something or another, and then
Mhm.
finally, after it took roughly twice the amount of time it should have taken for it to get to me, but it finally got to me. It was just it got channeled someplace else, and it was sitting there, and then they finally said, "Oh yeah, we got to get rid of this stuff, so let's send it all, kick it back into the stream, and then you get it
Mhm.
done." So, but being
My
a Canadian, you're used to that, having stuff come up to Canada.
Yeah, it takes forever. But usually
Good thing it's cheap, though.
oh yeah, it's gonna cost me $300 to ship these. Um,
Jeez, God, that's rank. I really
yeah.
think that's rank.
But they're big packages, so it's actually, ultimately cheaper, but
Well, I mean, compared to sending them singly,
individually,
oh my
yeah.
God, it's a. I was telling Nerdy because he was saying he wanted to build a set of various books and stuff. He says, "Man, I have to go out." And I said, "Well, look, rather than beat yourself to death trying to go to stores and getting bummed out and never finding it or not in the right grade and maybe buying,
Mhm.
I strongly recommend you go to my comic shop because on account of they have them, they undergrade. You can get them all together. They can ship it." He says, "Well, how's the shipping from Canada? I mean, to
Mhm.
Canada?" And I said, "Put it through Stackery, just like Alan
Yeah,
does,
that's what I do.
and
It saves
and
me
that'll
huge.
save you the money, and you can do it." And it was sort of like clicks and whistles after that. And I'm kind of going, well. I mean, that's the way to, I said, and I said to him, I said, look, TM, if
Yeah.
anybody knows,
So this is the okay.
sometimes
So
sky high,
yeah, there. Okay.
sometimes.
So sometimes no, always,
No,
always sky high.
but I said, if anybody knows how to get the stuff frugally to you or the most economical way,
Yes, we do have to
then
pay
it's
that taxes.
go with
It's due
Alan. Go
responsibilities.
listen to
Yeah.
what Alan does because he's already figured this out.
Hmm. So yeah, so typically, yeah, to ship directly from some random vendor in the U.S., it's usually between $30 and $50 just
God,
for
that's ins
one small little package.
well, I do
Um,
know do know having sent various, things
things to
your
me, yeah,
way, that
yeah,
it's sort of like you're kinda going and I said, "What's the best way?" And they tell me, and I said, "No, no." I said, "I want the best way." They said, "That is the best way."
yeah,
I
which is
said, "Oh,
crazy. So yeah, so
sorry,
my
sorry, Alan, they couldn't do it."
yeah, so
Yeah,
my
yeah.
so my concern is that I'm really worried that they put it into customs and they're kind of going through it all. My concern is twofold. One, I'm going to get dinged with a massive customs fee because just them opening it, they will charge me $50 per box.
So
And
that's 3
then
how many boxes? You got 3?
four. So that's
That's
$200
200
just to
bucks right
open
there.
the boxes. Then the
200
second
Canadian or
That's
US?
US. And then they'll charge me like some like crazy they'll appraise it to mean it's like $1 billion worth of comics and they'll say they'll appraise it like some crazy amount and then I'll pay like some huge postal fee. But then the other thing that I'm really worried about, even more so, is if they open it all up, it's gonna shift things, it's gonna break things, it's gonna, you know, who knows what
Fragile books, people who don't
they did it
understand
once before
fragile
and they ripped
paper.
yeah, they ripped like I had the first appearance of Rose and Thorn, the from the Silver Age, and they ripped the cover right off. And that's customs. So it's like, man, it's so brutal. So I hate customs. I with a passion. Um
Well, I just think I think it's high-handed what they do in
mhm.
Canada on your mail and, of course, a lot of other stuff too, but it just
Yeah, half the time get charged, half the time they don't. It's a crapshoot. What if you're gonna get lucky.
FF51, where are you in Canada? FF51?
Yeah, FF51, where are you? If you're in Ottawa, I'm in Ottawa. By the way, Lyle said that he watched us on,
Oh, hi, Lyle.
yeah, and oh, not Lyle. Who said it? Wait, I saw it.
Lyle Hobson.
No, not Lyle. Somebody else said. Oh
He just
yes,
said it.
I love Disney. I love Disney.
Oh, okay.
He watched this as well on the C4 Showdown. And if you haven't watched us, what are you doing with your life? Okay, no.
Living your
Living.
life.
So yeah. So oh, FF, you're in Ottawa. I'm in Ottawa. So you
Well,
could
you
say
guys
hi.
gotta get together.
Yeah, you can say hi to me. Okay. So yeah, so we had a comic battle. The best martial artist will probably win.
Probably.
Um
I think you will.
I was joking.
I think you will.
I just like saying that just because I like messing with you. Okay. So yeah, yeah, it was battle between the Warmonger and the Judo. They messed it up. I wanted it to be Judah Man, not Judo Man, because I wanted it to be kind of a mess up of the name, and also it
Well,
sounds like
I started with Judah Man, but you said but that's why I put in parentheses, Judah Man is Judo Man. But
yeah.
I don't, the warmonger, doesn't distinguish.
Hmm.
He just notices what it is, and when
Hmm.
he isn't busy caressing his firearms and getting and laughing and crying hysterically, uh, I am concerned that I, went a little bit too much inside
On two of the
baseball.
books.
I went a little bit too far inside baseball on my books. However, if people appreciate the esoteric, a little bit more esoteric than the rank and file sort of mundane, everyday. What are you going to show? AF-15? Oh, well, there's a surprise,
I
or
15
something like,
actually made
or
sense for the thing, though. You
I
gotta
know,
admit,
and
it
again,
totally
you
makes
are going
sense.
to win. You are going to win, and I will even say to you now, although it may be a little
Oh,
premature.
he's in Gatineau. I end up in Gatineau so many times. Like Gatineau is like literally about 2 minutes away from me. I always take a wrong turn and then end up in Gatineau. I'm like, oh man, I'm in Gatineau again. It's like this weird
So it's
little,
all French. It's all
yeah,
French in
it's
Gatineau.
French. Yeah, it's a French area. Yeah. Um,
Maybe
yeah,
FF51 is one of those French boys.
yeah. No, it's a Matt that's in Gatineau. So I got two people in the that are watching that are both in. Yeah, see, I think I Love Disney is a good, intelligent person, and he says Uncle Ben was a great choice for the category.
Disney, how are you again related to Alan? How are you?
So, so yeah, so basically, for those people that have no clue of what we're talking about all sorts of words has like this like battle of comic collectors, and so you can go over to the all sorts of words channel and watch the last battle, which is us competing, and it just dropped today, so it's still a fresh wound for some people, and
See, this is going to be the gift that keeps on giving.
yeah, probably.
I'll just have to get by and just limp along
Oh,
as I go.
La Tour, you're in Ottawa too? What's going on with this world? Why is everyone in Ottawa? And I didn't know anybody in Ottawa. That's so cool.
You guys should get together for coffee,
Yeah,
bring some books,
we should have like a we should
do
have
a little trading, do a
like
little trade session.
a little thing where we all group up and meet up in Ottawa.
I mean, you were talking about how you wanted to, maybe hang out with some guys face to face. You got guys probably living right next door to you.
Yeah. So I'm in Rockcliffe Park, if you guys know that area. So that's where I am. So yeah. So yeah, that's cool that there's like all these collectors. Like, who
Was
knew?
there like some? Is there some like some good pizza parlor in Ottawa that you guys, or some? I don't know what you eat, like Stinky Cheese Parlor or something that you go to
Stinky
there in
cheese
Ottawa.
what do we have in Ottawa? Like, I mean, I'm still new here. I've only been here a year now.
Well, ask
We have
those
the
guys. Ask those guys what's a good place to go in Ottawa, so you can sit at a table.
Oh wow, so near the Aviation Museum. So, um, yeah, so I'm near the Aviation Museum too. Um,
Well, that's what I think. And then you guys can then bring some books and hobnob and press the flesh. I think it's a great idea.
oh, Bleecker says great match. We are mortal enemies, but there's truce talks happening right now.
There are some people who get exercised a little bit more about this thing than perhaps others do. Everybody likes to win. I'm one of them.
Mhm.
But I realized right away that I probably had two that I could count on, which
Uh,
was Batman
yeah, I knew you were gonna win on the Batman
and
one.
the World War III. So all I have to do is pick up
Mhm.
one other one. But with Alan, it's the same way. He's got the three in hand right now.
Mhm.
And so we'll see if someone thinks that Frank Frazetta or LB Cole or My Tales to Astonish, but My Tales to Astonish, which actually answered the question about marching ants, rather than having three ants on the cover that were harassing Henry Pym. But
The funny
again,
thing is,
it's the people, the people, however the voters go. In all fairness and in all truth, all the kidding
mhm,
aside, it was just really fun to take on a persona. And I have to give kudos to Alan, um,
mhm.
especially on his, as he was talking about
Mhm.
his spending the $1.99.
They didn't see that yet, I don't think.
I know. Well, when they see that, it's
They'll love it.
probably in your. It's probably well, it's in your victory speech and in your
I put it
concession
in both just so
speech,
that it
just
is
so you
in
have
your
it.
memory. Yeah.
And so you'll be able to see it when he wins. I just enjoyed having the fun, being a crazy, ugly American warmonger. And I was telling Alan that for me, that really wasn't much of a stretch.
Oh, this is a cute one. You should have used the first appearance of Aunt May for that one. Best aunt ever.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
She's the gift that keeps on giving to Spider-Man.
yeah.
Mary Doc Ock, and didn't that maybe become one of Galactus's heralds for a while?
Yes, yes, that was in one of my videos. I was like, "Oh my
See,
goodness, she became a herald." I picked it up just because it's such a weird herald.
that is, I mean, come on, Aunt May, really? You know who
Yeah.
she is? You know who she actually is, though.
Oh, who?
She's the ancient one because you never see the two of them together at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's
They're
a nice
both
conspiracy.
the ancient one, that is his female side, and he
Hmm.
basically and all the wrinkled, pruny everything he's got going on that. Although, as I recall, I don't know what happened to him, but in the main series, he turns into a tree. That's when I mean his final thing when
The ancient one.
he shuffles the mortal coil, he turns into a he merges in with a tree.
I thought she was Marissa Tomei.
The way Marissa looks now, on My Cousin Vinny, she was
She was
smoking hot.
really hot.
Really
But the weird thing is,
beautiful.
actually, I thought that Marissa Tomei as Aunt May was a little bit weird. They were kind of going the MILF route, and I thought that was very strange. I
It
never
was
considered Aunt
yeah,
May to be
I
a
thought that
sexy girl.
their casting well, I mean, if that is as far as that's as far away from what Aunt May looks like. I mean, they could have gotten what's her name from Downton Abbey,
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking
uh,
somebody like that would make
Smith,
more
whatever her
sense,
name
right?
is, get her as Aunt May would have been perfect, and she's got the tart tongue and sharp
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
tack. So,
yeah,
I think that she would have been perfect, but maybe they couldn't get her.
yeah. It's really weird. So I thought that was such a weird choice. Sometimes, like some of the casting, I don't know. Sometimes a little bit off.
Yeah.
It- But yeah, it's just like
Hey,
the
Alan,
current and yeah.
did you get any new books, in that you wanted to start to show a little?
Okay. So you have some boxes that you have to open, right?
Well, I've extracted,
The books.
I've taken the first layer of protective sheathing off
Oh,
of my
oh,
spines.
Bleeker is asking if you want to join him on the next slab or not to slab. He never
When
asked
is
me,
it
Bleeker. Thank you, Bleeker. I don't know. Whenever.
I would be more than happy to just, send me a link and hit me a tickler, and I'll be happy to. I like when you do the tickler.
Okay, so I've never heard a conversation about May until this live
You
stream.
haven't lived yet, K Munin.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait till we talk about Uncle Ben.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go. Or Flash Thompson.
Okay, so if you have your books ready to show, then I'll let
I
you
can
show.
show one,
I
but
got
then
a ton
I'm
of
gonna
stuff to
I
show as
wanna
well. So
okay, I'll stretch out a little bit because I only have I think I have 3 books to show you. I have 3.
okay, well you can show
And
like
one of them was packed nicely, but it's not a slab. The other 2 are slabs.
okay. So let's
All
I'll
right.
make you big, and then you can show those.
This is from now let's see the name of this. It's Minoan. This is a Minoan
Oh, oh,
comic.
okay. Just quickly, Lau, I actually go to the one on Bank Street if you're familiar with that, and we can hang out. Okay. Okay. Sorry, that's like local stuff. Hey,
That's
Ozzy's here
fine.
too. Hi, Ozzy.
This is a Minoan book, and it's called Tales of Horror. And I was struck
Oh
by
yes.
how wonderful this. I love green covers,
Hmm.
and I just think that is just a great book.
Yeah, I there's so many awesome things about that. I mean, the girl in the tube, the guy with the crazy like vampire look and teeth, and
Ears
it's
and the
the
pointy head.
ears. Yeah, it's just, and then she's wearing like sort of a sexy little outfit too.
Yeah,
It's like
she's doing the hoochie coochie dance
coochie
inside the
coochie. Yeah,
beaker,
that's what I was thinking.
and there's some kind of he's roasting her somehow, and it says here down at the bottom, it says the tremendous. It's I think it's but it looks like it's TNE. That's weird. The treacherous genie.
The treacherous uni. So you know that's another
Yeah,
Soti
the
book, right?
treacherous genie. Huh?
That's a Soti book as well.
And why is it a Soti book?
Because I said it is. I don't know. I forget
I
the reason.
figured you would do that. That's how you do everything.
I think it's something with blood, actually. I think it's like one of those blood things where somebody's getting drained of blood or something like that.
I love the green fingernail polish. Do you think that's nice? It's a nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta,
He went
he went to
to
the
the nail
spa
parlor.
before. Yeah,
He went to the nail parlor.
yeah.
You know,
You
didn't
gotta
put the
look good
sparkle.
if you're gonna be on the cover. Come on.
Yeah, you want. He has to dress up for his thing. Isn't that a great cover though?
Yeah, it's awesome.
The Fiend of Flame.
Mm.
And
I just,
it came in a very
Mylar?
nice sleeve on it. Yeah, it came very nicely packed. So that's one of them. I'll tell you, I don't. Again, I'm not a big PCH guy, but every so often a cover will present itself that is, that isn't an arm and a leg, and which that one wasn't. But the cover content is just awesome. It's a blessing to find a book that is reasonably priced, that you can get. And thank you.
So yeah, no, that was a good one. Do you want me to show some books, or do
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
continue
Why
to?
don't you show something, and then I can. I have two more slabs that I need to extricate from. That they came from Maurice of Momo Comics, which is a great. He's
Oh,
a great dealer.
I bought a bunch of stuff from him. He's a good dealer. I
These are they're pretty
didn't you
amazing
do you
books.
buy from him through eBay, or do you buy it direct on Instagram?
I've been buying through eBay, but he breaks me. I've bought enough stuff from him now. I think he may have me on speed dial, but he cuts his price for me quite a bit.
I should because I've been buying from eBay as well from him. I should probably connect with him on Instagram because probably get better deals because it'll save him
Well,
money
I
too.
will. Well, if you beat me to him on Instagram, give him my compliments, and then the next time I'll try to hit him through there.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll try that.
But he does. But he's a very very good vendor, and he packs. He only sends once a week. He's got a couple more books up there for me now.
Mhm.
My Mars, whatever
Oh,
those two.
Manomars, Manomars.
I always think Malomars, but
Yeah.
the two Manamars or the Mars ones that I've got coming, and those are
Mhm.
smoking hot. I mean, I don't
Those are
know where he
really
turns.
great covers.
I don't know now. Where is he? Is he in Canada?
I don't know where Momo is. I have no idea.
I don't either. His he only packages up once a week, every Tuesdays when he sends.
Mhm.
So it's nice because if he gets, I don't know where he finds his books, but he finds really really good stuff.
Yeah.
And he doesn't try to get every single solitary nickel out of his books. He's
Yeah,
a good
he's
businessman.
pretty fair in terms of pricing.
Well, he is. He's right at fair market value or a hair
A little bit
lower.
less. Yeah, a little bit less.
Of course, because of that, he has gotten a lot of, by volume. He's getting me good. But he's always packs beautifully, and a very pleasant man. Good communication and
Oh,
everything
Lyle
else.
says he finds them the same place I do. And where's that, Lyle?
Where is that, Lyle?
So yeah.
See, that's what we call a teaser, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he gets in the same places I do, which is never going to get revealed.
Which
Okay,
will
so
never be will never be revealed.
okay, so I'm going to show some books.
Okay,
Um, so actually, I did an interview today for a small channel. They wanted to interview me. So the Comic Book Man, and I think he's going to air it on the weekend. So in preparation for this interview, I got a whole bunch of my books out, but then didn't show them. I showed only a few, but I'm going to show you a few, the ones that didn't make the cut, I guess, in terms of showing books.
that's such a
This is,
cute book.
I always love this one. This is Patsy Walker #1, and
The trope of the pillow on the fanny is so good.
yeah, I love that. It's
Either roller skating or ice skating. There you go.
yeah, this one's actually quite hard to get in high grade because it's got this crazy black cover.
Yeah.
Um, this one's a bit faded, I find actually, but it's still
What company is that in from?
this would be Marvel.
Really?
Timely, yeah. It's Timely Comics, yeah, Timely.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, Patsy Walker becomes Hellcat later
Oh,
on.
of course.
So yeah, so this is Patsy Walker number
What
one.
year? What year?
That's 1945.
She's been around for a long time.
And I picked up. I was so excited when I got this book. I think I've shown this recently, but I'll show it again. This is Patsy Walker #2.
That's a great book.
I got
That's a
this so
great
cheap
book.
too.
It's
I couldn't believe
amazing
it.
for the it,
And it's like nice high grade too. 5.0.
to the I was
Solid
going to
grade.
say to the audience, understand Patsy Walker's that basically girls were buying Patsy Walker books.
Hmm.
I have nothing
They're
against
usually
gals,
cut up and
but
so
they're
neat.
generally much more heavily loved than guys the books that guys have.
Yeah.
And so to find one in a 5, that is an incredibly high grade for an incredibly rare book. I've never seen that book before.
Yeah, I think it's less than 20 on the census, and,
I'm surprised it's that many.
no, I mean, less than. I have no idea what the census count is, but I know it's less than 20. You can look it up, I don't know. But, this one, I paid like 100 and something for it, like 100 and change.
That's the deal of the century. What's the back cover?
Back cover is a microscope.
Fair enough. 150 power.
Yeah, wow. So you
Have you seen the ad where they actually show the lenses? They say, "We will send you
Oh,
this
really?
lens." No, they send you the lens set, and then you're supposed to then fabricate tubes to
Oh,
put the
nice.
thing, and I'm, and so I had to read the ad twice to say, "Oh my god, all they're doing is sending you lenses." And then they show the tubes and they show some kid looking through it at the moon or something. And when in fact you don't get any of that. All you get are the lenses. They say, "We will
Oh,
send
that's
you these
terrible.
lenses." It's a rip.
Well, I guess I can it makes sense in a way though, because, shipping, like, the whole thing would be kinda hard, but shipping just the lenses, you could put it into a small box.
That's true.
Okay, so and this is the next one. You showed this recently, I believe, didn't you?
I did indeed.
Western Bandit Trails. This is a Matt Baker cover, from 1949 or something. Yeah,
Now
49.
the thing about that Matt Baker cover, oh,
Mhm.
there's actually I have 3 books. There are 2 in this one. Um,
Okay.
Alan, the thing that's different about this Western Bandits Matt Baker cover is the inker. And if you
Mhm.
look at the actual image of the gal and the way that the characters are, the inking is done in a different fashion. It is not as overtly overt. And what they do is it's more a more minimalist approach
Okay.
to it. Yeah,
It's like, let me see if I can.
it's
Hard
beautiful glare. It's a beautiful glare.
there. Can you see it well? It's
Uh huh.
so
Yeah.
hard. Right there. Okay. Actually, I think the inking is not too bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it's there was a different inker, and I actually there's
Yes.
the name of the inker that did that I was unfamiliar with, but I could tell. I knew it was Matt Baker, but it had a slightly different look to it than his usual
And
St.
it's
John
normal
stuff.
style. You're right. Yeah, it's a little different looking.
It's nothing
Uh,
wrong with it. It's still a great Baker cover. I love it.
oh yeah, I like it too. I always like the trope of the gun getting shot out of the guy's hand.
Well, the broken bottle in her hand is also pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
She's not messing around.
Now this is another Matt Baker. This is Zoot. But don't the lions look more like Cayman?
Uh, yes, it does. Who did it?
Matt Baker.
Really? Look at the hair. The
I know
legs.
the hair is right. Actually, the hair kind of looks like Matt Baker. But yeah, it's denoted as being
You
Matt
know what?
Baker.
You know what? I will say this to you, Alan, because I was expressing this to you recently. Look
Mhm.
at the animals' faces. That doesn't
I
look
they ha that looks like Cayman, doesn't it?
that does not look like Matt Baker. I would actually say I bet you that they both combined on
I
that
bet, yeah, and then
because
they
I don't think there's
contributed to
any
one.
way Matt Baker's animals don't look those are Cayman animals. I can tell you that right now.
But his, like, I've seen some of Matt Baker's animals look kind of wonky too. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
but you look at those, they have faces on them, and that's Cayman.
yeah, that's
That's
what I was
his
saying too.
that really is his trademark.
Yeah,
And
so
also now he
the
doesn't now
hair is the hair is kind of Matt Baker's style though on
well,
the
it
cover.
is, and also, if Matt Baker, you'll notice that the blade is not curved, it's more of a Bowie knife. So he has a slightly different type of a knife in hand.
Yeah, so this one is like a Matt Baker style knife.
That is
Is
a
it
Matt Baker knife instead of the
usually?
curved
Yeah,
dagger for Cayman.
Cayman's knife will be like, yeah, like a U shaped or
Curved
like
dagger, yeah.
curved dagger. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was
Alan,
coolish.
is it sad that we know that level of detail on these covers? Is it
Yeah,
sad?
exactly. So now I'll show you a Cayman just so people get a sense of Cayman. This is Cayman.
Look at the hair on that. That looks like Baker hair, doesn't it?
I know. That's the funny thing. So the
I do
previous
think that
one, I don't know. This one's denoted as being Cayman, which I actually, in terms of the girl's body, if you look at the girl's, like, the other asset that you can look at is the girl's chest. On the
yes.
Caymans, it's usually a bit bigger.
Yes, that's true.
Um, so this looks kind of like a
That
Cayman
is
style.
Cayman. That is Cayman, but the hair looks like Baker had a hand in it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's got that motion and kind of craziness going on.
Yes, which
So
Kamen did was close, but
he was a bit
also
flat, usually a bit flat on his hair, I found.
less alive, I should say.
Yeah.
The other thing too about Kamen is that when he uh, they are more voluptuous on the top mostly, and but I do think what it does is it begs the question to try and find out just how much commingling of work together they did, because I know, and this would have been the Iger shop right now
Yeah, these
in
are
this
Iger. This is Iger
sweatshop.
House. This is Iger House sweatshop. They're chained to a desk or multiple desks, just grinding it out.
They're grinding it out, and my guess is that they helped each other out. Says
Yeah, I'd
it's
say
just I
so.
just don't want to draw the hair. Matt, would you draw it for me? He said no problem, and then he would do it.
Yeah.
I really think there's more of that than, and I won't say Kamen did her chest, but she's approaching Feldstein,
Oh yeah.
Feldstein proportions up there chest wise.
I know, very headlightish. And then you can reduce your weight. So that's important.
Very
Um,
good. That's a
so
nice
yeah,
copy, by the way. What's the grade on that?
5.5.
That is a beautiful book.
For okay, so the other thing that we should tell people that are watching, these are all done for Fox Features Syndicate, and they use the worst paper, the worst, literally the worst paper. Um, and these things did not survive very well because of the paper quality. So getting high grades from this publisher is quite hard. Anything above a 3 is actually kind of a big deal.
It is.
Um, so yeah, but these ones are amazing. I think these are very underrated because the stories inside, the stuff, like the covers are pretty great, but the interiors are really great. Just over the top, like violence, sex, everything you can imagine happening inside these books.
Bondage, murder,
Yeah,
torture, fire, snakes.
injury to eye,
Yeah, injury to eye, getting impaled,
like virgin
decapitation, no,
sacrifices, and
decapitation, buried up to the neck. I
yeah,
mean, all that stuff. Knives in the neck,
people getting tortured. It's it's
blood
just
splatter.
everything.
I mean, the whole bit.
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff inside these, and they're very interesting for that.
Is
So
that a new
yeah,
one for you? Is that a new
no,
arrival?
I've had that for a while actually.
God, that's a
Um,
that's a beaut.
yeah, and I'll show one more book, and then like I figure I gave you enough time to kind of
Yeah, I've got it.
show. So this is another series that we both like. Mine's Restored, but this is by Maurice Whitman. This is Ghost number 2. It's just a great lingerie cover, and I like these little phantom girls that are down around. And then this,
She's it's a nightmare cover. She's
yeah,
having a nightmare, a
and this
waking
is,
nightmare,
mhm.
and the web of the dream is all around her. And as she's coming out of her sleep, she is falling out of the dream. I mean, it is a very surreal cover. The more you look, and she's
Yeah.
fabulous.
Now, a couple of things with Ghost. All the covers do feature a ghost, and this is the ghost on this cover, and you can see actually his hand very, very faintly. And
Yes,
from his hand, he's got like strings that are attached to all these little phantom characters. And this is my favorite cover from the run. I just think it's the best. And yeah, this one is
yours
really
and
good.
mine, yours and mine both. My Ghost number two came from the Loon collection.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and if you take a look at her, if you look at the gal,
Okay, wait, I'll show you
to a
again.
certain degree, doesn't that say Wallywood to you?
A bit, just because of the gossamer kind of
Well,
style,
but I think the hips and how
like
chesty she is,
right in through here. I was
yeah,
going to say, yeah.
they're very well. That's very
And just
Wallywoody.
the fabric, like he does a lot of that kind of drapey kind of like
Yeah, Maurice
gossamer
Whitman.
style.
I think that people are beginning to understand how good Maurice Whitman is because he really is a great artist.
Yeah, he was very overlooked for a long time. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff. Like this, his run on Planet Comics is pretty great.
That's
Uh,
near the end.
yeah, and he's done a lot of stuff. Just underrated. Like some,
So I would assume then, because Fiction House was Iger House as well, that
mhm.
Maurice was part of the whole Iger House thing. And my guess is that the more we are buying various books having with that packager that we're going to see more Maurice Whitman as we go.
Maybe, maybe. So yeah. So you ready to show your
I will show a book.
wait,
I I
Age sold the original as Matt Baker art. Which one are you referring to? Okay. Okay, wait. I love the way that Whitman drew women. Okay, I'm just like going through.
Oh, that's good. Pay attention to the chat.
Good thing that Wortham never read Rula. Actually, one of the Rula books is
Made it
in the
made
seduction
it
of this
into
one.
this OT.
It,
Yeah,
it made it into it. So yeah, no, it he knew that it was kind of crazy. Uh Wortham enjoyed the covers, but the writing he detested. That's
but he didn't like the cover to Phantom Lady 17. I'll tell you that.
no, he didn't like that cover at
He
all.
said that is to
Salacious.
the evil person's fantasy
Mhm.
bondage, bound buxom woman fantasy. Terrible. We don't want that stuff. And I always think about, well, what the hell were you doing in Nuremberg anyway?
Wait, somebody said that this was Matt Baker art.
No, it can't be. That's Maurice
Nope.
Whitman.
This is Maurice Whitman.
There's no way.
Um, so he then sold it the original as Matt Baker art. I think they might have made a mistake. If Heritage did that, that'd be insane. Because this is, so we were talking about how each artist has like their signature thingies. Maurice Whitman, it's always the girl's lips. You can always tell Maurice Whitman's
Her
by her
eyes
face.
as well.
Her
Eyes as
eyes
well.
too. Yes, yes. This kind of style of face. Once I
Yes,
see it, it's like a like obvious
it's
Maurice
a
Whitman cover.
trademark.
It's a
It's a
trademark.
tell.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So you ready to show your books?
I am. I'm never ready.
Okay. You're never ready.
Um,
Okay. So wrong description. Yeah. Correct. Wrong description by Heritage. Yeah. That's a pretty major mistake. I think like maybe so Heritage made a mistake of calling the Ghost 2 a Matt Baker cover.
that
And
there
then
is.
I would actually be upset. Like I mean it's still a great cover to get,
Oh God, yes.
if if somebody bought it thinking it's a Baker, they're going to pay more thinking it's a Baker and then
You
yeah,
know,
that's
Alan,
not
when
good.
if you think about this, anybody that would bundle up the kind of money that would even be implied for a cover like that of original art would be of a
Mhm.
sufficient amount of money that the person buying would have to know. I mean, that's not someone say, I think I'll just go buy $20,000 of original art.
Hey, hello Stephen.
Hello,
It's a
Matt Bakerino.
Mac Baker. Okay.
Um, so anyway, one of this book I have seen quite a few times, and I've seen other collectors show it. And each time I would see it, I always thought that I wanted to get one that had a good color strike on it, and they always seem to be somewhat faded. And I love the content of this thing. And this is we were talking about Wally Wood. This is a Wally Wood and Joe Orlando cover.
Mhm.
And this is an Avon book, and it's Space Detective #2.
Mm. Yeah, you showed me that you got it. And nice 5.5 too. So great.
And of course, it's a headshot and the gal in the with a nice top. They're in outer space, and she's got on her tight jeans and her six gun, like you do, and he's got his spacesuit on, and she's the only thing she isn't wearing is Daisy Dukes to
Yeah.
be there. Got her little boots on. He's got his Carmen Infantino shoes on. For
Mhm.
all the villains from the Flash Rogues Gallery, they all have shoes like that
Mhm.
generally. But these head guys, and they have the kind of the twiggy antler things coming out of their temples, and he's in a headshot, right? I mean, real close shot right in the head, and then this guy is right behind, about ready to grab him from behind. I just think, but look at the color strike on this one. I sold me on it. Unfortunately, the price was not ridiculously high. And I believe this was from Maurice at Momo.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I think all three of these books were from him.
Momo Comics.
The
Okay.
slabs, the slabs.
Nice.
I can't remember where I got that other one. The horror. I think that might have been
But
that which the story which must not be named.
Yeah, but this one is quite nice. I mean, the grade on this is it's a very solid grade. I mean, and it looks quite pretty.
The pages are off white to white, which for Avon is very
Is good
very
deal.
good.
Yeah, that's
Oh, and the
nice.
year on this, and this is an app. This is a brand new
I think
slab,
is it 53, I think?
51.
Oh, okay. So I was
So
close, but
this,
not quite.
yeah, this is a 1951.
Yeah, I have the complete collection of Space Detective now.
I know you do, and I believe I remember when you showed your copy of this book
Yeah.
before, and but I always liked it, but it's first of all when you have a color the color scheme, the palette on this one, it lends itself to sort of.
Yeah, they always kill the poor little aliens. I mean,
But you know the thing is, my wife was talking. Susan was talking about this. She said, you know, these guys, they say, I want to destroy the earth. I want to conquer the earth to destroy it. Well, why don't, who cares? Why would you want to, I want the earth so I can destroy it. Well, why want it then?
yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
What's the motivation? I want it so must conquer the earth so I can destroy it. Why? There's
Yeah.
never any answer. It's always this random sort of hatred where you got to destroy Earth. Galactus decides he has to eat Earth, you know.
Well, Galactus eats all planets, so that's his
Well, I
thing.
know, but I mean, pick another planet, you know. But this one, the purple transitioning down to kind of a plum. Yeah,
Mhm.
the pink and purple, the plum, the
Yeah.
background, the color palette that was used by Wally Wood and Joe Orlando, who were both at Avon. And Joe Orlando, if you kind of go like this, it's Wally Wood. I mean, Wally Wood's got his hand in this as well.
Well, yeah, so Space Detective had a lot of Wally Wood covers. So,
So it's there. There's a lot of there was commingling.
hi,
Was
Pocket Full
Avon
of Comics. We've been talking a lot, Pocket Full of Comics and I.
fair
So,
enough?
yeah, he's the guy
Did
that has
you?
that collection. Yeah.
Oh, yes, definitely so. I was the
Mhm.
one, pocket full. I'm the one that sent that long thing about wanting you to educate yourself and look carefully and, find out what you have and don't be in a big hurry to sell everything because it's a one-shot thing from grandpa to take,
Mhm.
and the fact it was from grandpa means something.
Mhm.
My grandfather, of course, was from the World War One vintage, so there were no funny books involved in that. But my dad had comic books, and the ones that survived, and then the rest of them got, I mean, it's very, very few. And they were
Mhm.
very, very well hammered. I mean, as far as that went. So take your time and don't be in a big hurry to get rid of stuff. Look carefully at what you have and then see what you want to do. Because it's a one shot thing, and very, very few people have that as fortunate as you. So just take your time. Don't be in a big hurry. Don't act in haste and repent in leisure. That's what I would just say to you.
Mhm. Unless you're selling to
Very
me, then you can
Unless you're
do this.
selling to Alan, in which case you double and treble the price.
No, 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 no.
And
That's
then in US, yeah, and I think it's and you want to be paid in gold bolivars because I know because Alan's loaded with them. So that's this one. And this rear cover ad is very appropriate for Judo Man, because on
it's the
account of
kicking sand one.
because it's the kicking sand one.
Oh, that's awesome.
You weenie. I've had it. I've had it. Now, how much is this? Let's see here. Let's see if it's the $1.99.
It's usually $1.99, but it's probably cheaper back then, right?
Well, let's see. This is 19 in November of 51. What does it
I
say?
imagine it's like 25 cents or something like that, right?
Send me absolutely free
Oh, wow, it's
a
free.
copy a copy of your famous book, Everlasting Health and Strength. 48 pages, crammed with actual photographs, answers to vital health questions, and valuable advice to every man who wants to have a better build. I understand this book is mine to keep, and sending for it does not obligate me in any way. Signed.
Nice. Cool. Okay, and I'll answer this question. So, Crossbuck Comics, quick question. You gentlemen mentioned packagers before. What are packagers? Distributors? No, they're not distributors. Packagers were basically companies that existed in
Creators.
old. They were creators. They would have like a stable of artists, and they would just grind out different comics for other companies. So if you had a comic company, you didn't want to create the content for it, you'd hire a packagers who would do all the art, do all the stories, do all the work for you,
Everything.
and then they would give you that, and then you could print it or do whatever you want with it.
You
So
know what's interesting is if you look at Fiction House Comics, Alan was talking about the interior artwork being so good.
mhm,
Fiction House was also had the Iger House of Art,
mhm,
as did Fox, as did Superior Comics in Canada, in Toronto. And
mhm.
at the same, so and I have always maintained that when you get a Fiction House book or a Fox book or a Superior book, it
Mhm.
isn't that you have a Boffo cover, and then like let me put it this way: Standard Nedor would have a beautiful Schomburg cover, but on the interior you would
Terrible.
have, well, what you'd
Terrible.
have is, I would like to call it pedestrian art.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
quite
we.
pedestrian, and so it was sort of like it wasn't very good. But on Fiction House and Fox and Superior, the talent that they had that were producing these was, they had Lily Renee, they had
Matt Baker, Jack
Joe
Kinman.
Doolin.
Yeah,
I mean,
Joe Doolin.
Kamen and Baker, Feldstein.
Yep.
I mean, they had and others as well, really good guys. And it was surprising how many guys actually worked at Iger. I keep finding, I think Russ Heath might have worked at Iger as well. So a
Mhm.
lot of these guys kind of went around and went around because this way they would guarantee, as an artist, they would guarantee that they would have work to feed their family.
Sounds like modern comics. Kind of, but it was
True.
only certain ones that were like that. Fiction, Iger House was really good about doing both well. I'm not sure which one was the one that kind of was doing these interiors that were terrible. Was it just who was the packager for Nador?
I don't know who did the packaging for Nedor.
Nedor.
I think that they might have had their own. I think Standard and Standard Nedor, Standard First. I mean, all those different names that Ned
Was it
Pines had.
Kessler? Chesler?
Harry Chesler.
Chesler? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't really
I think
know.
I answered it on one of my questions recently, so I should know. I just don't have it in my head right now.
Well, just make a little note to yourself, and that way you can, in a lull, you can look or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I want me to show one more. Or do you want to show one?
Oh, do you have how many more do you have to show?
I only have two more.
Do you want to show them, or do you want me to show something?
Well, I'll tell you what. Since we're talking about it, I will show one.
Okay, well,
I
I'll
will
let you
show
do
one
that.
more, and then I'll wait and show the last one, because the last one's really something I had never seen before.
Okay, so we'll let.
We were just talking about Fiction House with Ghost Comics number two.
Okay.
Ghost Comics number two was the very first, I believe, first Fiction House book I ever bought. The second book I bought was Planet Comics 35,
Oh,
from the
that's a
same
nice one. Nice one.
from the same collection, this Loon collection. I've talked about it a million times, but that Dave Alexander found, and the books are all sevens and eights and nines. I mean, they're all really, really healthy, beautiful colored books, healthy pages, everything. And so one of them was the very first one was Ghost Comics 2, because I had never seen that cover before. I wasn't even familiar with Fiction House as a company, and then I found out later on how it all worked, and it's an amazing thing. But here is a Ghost comic that has eluded me, but finally now is in my
Oh,
grasp.
nice. I know it's one now.
It's Ghost Comics number 10.
Nice.
And although it is a 4, this is actually a
Case.
brand new slab case, because I think this is the first time this one's been slabbed. And the grading right now at CGC
Is brutal.
is extremely, extremely strict, overly strict. And this, I think, is a function of the kerfuffle they had with the acetates and the fraud that they had with the books being swapped out and all that other stuff. So to burnish their reputation, what they're doing is they're being particularly hard on grading. And as from a buyer's standpoint, look at this 4.
I know it looks like a
I
five or
mean,
six.
look, it looks like a 6.
Yeah.
What's the page quality? Off-white white, right?
The
I
floating
mean,
skeleton he likes. I like so for me, what really I love about this one is oh, this is the different one. This is the I was thinking is this the voodoo doll one? Where's the voodoo doll one? No, that's a different one. It's a
That's
polka
no,
dot.
that's the other one that I have coming from the shop that shall not be named.
Yeah.
That has not arrived yet.
That one I really like too. I just like the polka dotted dress and the
But
little voodoo
look
doll.
at the gal. Look at the gal, Alan, and I'll give you 3 guesses who did the art on
Well,
this cover.
I know who did it. Because it's like it's all the
Who did
ghost
it?
all
Who
the
did
ghost comics were done by Maurice Whitman. So that's it just makes it easy.
and, the thing about this one that is I mean, it is not a 4. Uh,
It's
and, uh,
not-
and this is interesting too. It has a store oops, it has a store stamp, Den Best Drug. DenBeste drug. Ben Dan Best or whatever. Den
Hi,
Best.
hi, Biggie. Um, yeah, this harsh grading from CGC may end up chasing away potential and future customers. The comic book looks better than a mere 4. Yeah,
Oh, it is. There's no. I mean, I looked at that. I looked at the picture
yeah.
that Maurice put up, and I'm looking at it, and this is where you really owe it to yourself when you're going to buy a book is buy the book.
Did you read
Yes,
the
I do
grading
read the
notes?
grader's notes, but again, the grader's notes they give the fig leaf as far as what they're doing. But if you look at golden age books and you can see ones that look somewhat more
Yeah.
tired, which gives you a 4 for a tired book is a great grade. But a 4 for a book that's as bright and lively as this one, it ain't a 4.
Hmm.
It's a 5 or a 5.5, one or the other.
Yeah.
And then you'll also see a certain amount from older ones. You'll see a certain variation. So that's why I always say buy the book and not the label. Buy the book, but not the label. I mean, you look at the label, and of course, with the way they're grading now, as a buyer, you're saying, well, it's only a 4, when in fact, you know damn well it's not a 4. It's the nicest 4 you're ever going to see.
Hmm.
And don't pay a penny for these newest frocks. That's addressed to you, Alan.
I know the term frock. Oh, that's
Look
cool.
at how bright the back cover is.
So the interesting thing is, they're selling women's gear. So is this book geared towards women?
No,
Exactly. That
no,
seems really weird.
It's not. I think that when they ran the ads, they ran a package. The advertisers would run a package. This will go on all these various periodicals, and you'll be on these titles, and it all comes in. It's a bundle. It wasn't like
Yeah,
they say, well, okay, we don't want to have those, but we want to have this. Well, no, it's all in a bundle.
because
So
like
you'll get
yeah, that's what I always thought was really funny because like you see all these weight reducers and women's clothing ones on books that are not
guys
at
that are
all.
in, but you also have on girls' books, if you have on the romance books, you'll have the guy trying to build up his muscles and all that other
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
too.
yeah,
So it does go. There is a commingling of how they would
yeah.
go.
Though I've never seen okay, the one thing that I've never seen on a girl's like, like any of the romance ones is an ad for like the Daisy rifle. I have to say I've never seen that on a romance
I
book.
have not. I will now. I'm gonna have
Now
to
we
look
got to
and
find
see
that. That's the next thing I got
because
to look for.
nowadays they say there's no reason why a girl couldn't have had a BB gun, but girls didn't. The girls, tomboys maybe, but all the girls were
The
Barbies and
girls
all
didn't
that
always
stuff. They weren't into BB
they
guns.
were shooting their Barbies with the Daisy rifle.
That's
Um,
right. They had the execution.
execution.
All right, Ken, your number's up. You know,
So yeah, don't forget the ones that said, "Girls, you are too skinny." Now they don't have to say that anymore.
no,
Um,
they're well beyond that. I had occasion to go to the island of Aruba,
oh,
uh,
okay.
and when I went, and this was in 1978 or 9.
Hmm.
And a fellow that I met back at Cornell when I was back for doing graduate courses for hotel, because
Hmm.
we were in the family business with hotel. And so he says, Steve, I want you to come down for carnival. And
Hmm.
so, or as he said, at Carnival.
Mhm.
And he was the comptroller at the Sheraton right on the beach there in Aruba.
Okay.
And so I went to his house and what have you, and I stayed there. And then the carnival came on and what have you. And I shot slide film. I shot slides of all over the island and during the parade and all that other stuff. And here about 6 months ago, I came across them and I had the slides all converted into JPEGs so I could send them to him.
Okay.
And he was going to give them to the tourist bureau
Oh,
there in
nice.
Aruba because it was sort of a day in the life of Aruba, the downtown and the
Sure.
floats and all that. And the first thing that he said after he was seeing this is, "Look how thin all the people are."
Everyone. Yeah.
Because this was before they had fast food of any sort on the island.
Yeah.
And he said, and then they put
Now they're all
McDonald's,
big.
and now everybody's got carrying a lot more weight because they got a McDonald's and a Wendy's and all these others and Dairy Queen and all this other stuff they have there now. So all the
Mhm.
natives now are all suffering from the same stuff that we do.
Yeah.
Thanks a
It's
lot,
so
America.
it's sort of funny. My father digitized a bunch of old photos. I was like, the first comment that I made was like, everybody's skinny. There's nobody, like nobody fat, and it's just yeah. But that's a total different story. They're consistent with the lower grades lately, or does it mean that it can be a moving target? I grade a lot of cards. It's hit or miss. They're a bit more consistent with the grading at CGC, but right now they're being a little bit strict. It's just because of certain conflicts that they had that they're trying to resolve by being a little bit harsh with the grading and improve their reputation.
And this
Um,
this is not just this is not just Alan and I saying this. If you
yeah,
track any of
look the
the
forums and
if
stuff.
you
Yeah.
track any of the guys, now what's happening is this: the dealers who have to get books graded are sending them in because they have to feed their family. They have to sell the books. They have to get them slabbed. So
Hmm.
they're the ones that are taking this right on the chin.
Yeah.
So when they are buying and they are getting these books in and then they have to have them slabbed, they actually have to get the book slabbed in order to sell. A collector, on the other hand, who is the end user or the buyer,
Hmm.
if you want to think about having books slabbed at all at this point, the answer is I would strongly urge you not to do it now and wait for a while
Yeah.
because on account of this too will pass and then they will make it more even. And I've said this more times than I can count. I don't want anything extra from them. All I want is it to be
It's the
fair.
grade that he is. Yeah.
I just want it to be fair. I don't want extra. I just want it to be fair.
The thing that really bothers me about grading actually is more just the sheer cost of it. It just like I actually want to pitch to my comic shop, Ding the Bell, um, that they're grading all their books and they're doing a really good job of grading.
Yes, yes.
How much more, if you could say, hey, I ordered like a bunch of raw books from you, and they said, well, if you want for $15 more, we'll put them in a slab with a little label. Would you do it? I mean, I think I would.
When
You know,
from my comic
my
shop,
comic shop, yeah.
I
Why
sure
not?
as hell would do it. I
Yeah,
would
I
do it
mean,
right now.
their grades are good. You know what you know what you're gonna get.
Yep.
And if they just put it in a slab, it would be that extra level of like security
I
for the book.
I right now am looking at a Human Torch number 11 up
Hmm.
on my comic shop, and I can't remember if it's a 4 or a 6 or whatever, a 5 or whatever it is,
Hmm.
and it's a raw book, and it's a consign. But I
Hmm.
noticed in the little yellow information box that when the book was submitted to my comic shop,
They
their
grade.
graders, the my comic shop graders were the ones that graded it, and so they point that out. In other words, pointing out, look, this is the
Yeah, they grade better than anyone. Yeah.
they grade a little bit tougher, half a grade to three quarters of a grade or so
Hmm.
lower, so that there's never a question as far as what it is. Now you can price it any way you want to price it. Okay, it's like convention pricing. It says, well, it's a
Hmm.
2.0. Well, the guide says it's a $200 book. You got $300. That's right. The book's $300. Well, and the guide says, then buy it from the guide. This is the price on the book. This is the price on the book.
Hmm.
It does just because it has a grade has very little bearing on what they're going to charge for it for what they want. Then if they're too fancy, well, then it'll linger and not sell, and then they'll finally do it. So this
Hmm.
guy has a price that's two and a half. It's two
Two
times
and a half
higher. It's a
times
consign,
higher than,
and
yeah.
so and the other thing is then it doesn't have a best offer. So in other words, it's either you buy it fully barbed and feathered, or
Hmm.
you wait. And so on this one, I'm going to wait
Yeah.
and see. I'm not gonna. I won't bundle up. I'm not gonna pay a huge premium
Yeah, I found
for
that
that.
if you want to get a good deal on my comic shop, generally don't buy the consigned books. They're usually a little bit overpriced. The ones that are like in their own inventory are usually very well priced, and you can get some really great deals. Insane
But it
deals.
also, but Alan, it also depends upon the motivation of the seller because if they're saying, "Look, I got to get this thing sold," and
That
so
happens too.
so you just have to kind of take them individually because some people say it's sort of if you have a guy that says, "I don't really care if I sell it, I'm going to want to get my price and I'm prepared to wait." That's one. But if
Yeah,
you have someone that says,
a motivated seller.
I need to sell this. Please price it aggressively, and then let's move it along because I would like the money." And they do that a lot too. So take each one
Yeah.
separately, and then
So
it'll be obvious to you
so I just
if
had
you check the
something.
pricing.
I had something that happened like that just recently, where there was about 10 listings. It was like pretty common book, I guess. It had like a bunch of listings, and the My Comic Shop graded one, not graded one, like raw book, was cheaper than the graded one that this guy was offering
Selling,
to sell. So yeah,
offering,
and
yeah.
then and it was just like it was like the prices like for similar grades, it was like $50, $20 for his. It's like it was just like such an outlier in terms of
No
price. I
brainer.
was like,
It's a no brainer.
I just immediately put that in my cart. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Um,
I've done that quite a few times where they have the My Comic Shop book is a 3.5 and it's $200, and then they have a 3.0 that's a consign
Design.
that's $400. And you look at the pictures of the two books, and the My Comic Shop book is head and shoulders better looking book because if they
Mhm.
say it's a 3.5, it's more likely a 4 or a 4.5.
4, 4, 5, yeah. Yeah, so sometimes like I've seen some really weird ones where like I've seen ones where there was a 2.0 and then there was a 4.0, and the 4.0 was actually cheaper. I feel like sometimes they don't update all the prices across a title.
No,
And I've picked up a few where I bought the higher grade one, and it looks like, you see the pictures and it looks like a higher grade one for cheaper. And it's always amazes me. But the only times I get annoyed is sometimes those things disappear from my cart. But other than that,
I have no knowledge of that. Do you know, what you just described is exactly what I did when I went through their, inventory of weird tales,
oh
because
yes.
I went looking for covers that were, uh, the old pricing prior to
Mhm.
when all the slabbing situation now that's going on, and there has been a exponential increase in the prices that are being asked even now at my comic shop.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. People are a little bit strapped for cash nowadays.
And I
You know?
think that the fact that my comic shop has such a grand audience to move the things along, and I think that the way they treat their customers rather than eBay, where eBay has fees and assessments and all these other problems, where you put them on my comic shop and people, and actually my comic shop puts their stuff on eBay, and
Yeah, you get
sometimes,
both.
and then what I do is I will look on eBay to see what's available on my comic shop because it's
Yeah.
easier for me to navigate through eBay than it is to navigate because I have to know what I'm looking for. Sometimes I'm looking for something, I don't know what it is, and I'll say,
Mhm.
"Ah, that's a book I would like." And if I see my comic shop, boom, I go over there, plug it in, there it happens, saving
So,
money.
so Biggie saw Hulk 1 for 15K on Elite, and then he said that he got 2.0 for 14K. So yeah. Um Actually, I think that was the one I reported on Monday's show. Today's show, I reported on some Hulk one that had sold for around 14K. Um,
Was it Dope Comics that bought the 2.0? I think it was Dope Comics that bought it. He finally got a
yeah, I think
2.0
so.
Hulk 1.
Yeah, dope bought it. Yeah, I mean that's a really I love that book. I think
Me too.
that's one of the it's a hard book to find. It's kind of it's kind of
It
to
ain't
me. I
it
always
ain't
consider
Hulk
it the showcase four of Marvel.
it ain't Hulk 181, I'm telling you right now.
Hulk 181
It's
is like
it
easy.
it's, it is a rare book, and it's a rare book that's intact, and it's a rare book that is not only intact, but in presentable shape, because Marvel was trying to make a buck,
And they were
and they
cheaper
didn't
than paper.
they went cheap, and, there's no doubt that they did, and the fact that they have the Marvel shipping, and then they have the flimsier paper than DC or Dell or any of a lot of Charlton for that matter, so
Yeah, Biggie, I've been seeing Hulk one appear a lot more lately too.
I think people are hurting and are selling.
They're
I
hurting in the
honestly
selling, but
I think that's it,
there's another reason why it's coming up more often.
because the
And
price is bumped.
yeah, the price has like of all the Marvel Silver Age books, of all of them, Hulk one is the only like blue chip book that has held its value and actually gone up. And that is a reason why people are like, okay, I'm hurting. What can I sell without losing my shirt on it? And Hulk one is a good one to flip right now. You know,
And these
um,
things are and also these things are cyclical, because some guys, some of the premium guys were saying that Batman 1 shows up all the time. Well, Batman
oh,
1 will show up.
he picked. So AG picked up the. I think I might have actually mentioned your Hulk one if you're the one that
I
bought it
think
from
you did.
Heritage.
I
Yeah.
think you did.
So that was the one. It was a 2.0. I think it's
Congratulations.
yeah. I think it sold
Well
for
done.
12K, I believe. Yeah,
Well
so I
done.
mean, just a great book to get. I mean, yeah, and actually, I was thinking that it was a little bit underpriced. That you got it at a good price. Um, so yeah, so okay, should I show some books, or do you have one
Sure.
more?
I've only got one more, but it's a wow.
Okay, so I'll show some books, and then you're gonna like make my books look lame. And
No,
is what you're
I
saying.
just have one more book, and I think it's a wow. I you have beautiful books, you buy great stuff. You're clever, and you're resourceful, and what you do is you find these really cool books, and you have an eye for it. You
Mhm,
if you want something, you're gonna find it, and you're
mhm.
good at that. You're better at that than anybody else I know.
Okay, okay. Thank you for like trying to build up my ego again. Okay,
Alright.
so
Okay, and then I'll trash your books.
yeah, then you can trash my books. Okay, so we're going to start out with some PCH. Uh, this was actually a title that started out as a superhero title, Black Cat, but then it became Black Cat Mystery, and this is just one of these wild covers where she's being
The
based
guy that has the sword cutting the rope reminds me of what's that,
Catnip.
Adventure Time? No, he reminds me of Adventure Time.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah, with the guy with the bunny ears, or girl with the bunny ears, or guy with the bunny ears, or whatever it is. Yeah, I know what you're
What
talking
a
about.
great cover that is.
I mean, she's being lowered into hell, and this is like I think
Cartoon
she's
horror.
and she's like sold her soul to the devil or something like that, and you get this
It's
little
cartoony horror. It's
yeah,
really it's very bizarre.
and then
Harvey,
you get yeah Harvey, and then you got the little black cat there, and it's a great bondage cover. Got a lot of stuff going for it. This
what's
was
the
done
year?
by it's 1951. It's Rudy Palace and Bob Powell.
Pelé.
You
It's Rudy Pelé.
Play. Okay,
Yeah,
play.
and he's very good. He did a lot of stuff. He did stuff on Holyoke, and
This is not Soti, by the way. No, it's not.
he did stuff for Holyoke and Continental. Because my
Yeah.
Captain Arrow 26 has a Rudy
Mhm.
Pelé story in it, and his style looks in that particular book looks
It's
very
very
much
similar to
like
this.
Lou Fine. No, it looks like Lou Fine. But
Oh,
that's
okay.
not. But Rudy Pelé was drawing, and I don't know what if Harvey had their own studio. I don't know if Standard Needor. Those are things you should know. And then the other thing is then Continental. And so I don't know who
Mhm.
was doing the packaging, but there was Schomburg was in there too with Continental. So it's just Schomburg got around.
Schomburg was a busy dude. Okay, so that's one. I'll show three books just to balance out your awesome WoW book.
Well, I also have
Um,
other books. I have other crummy golden age I can show.
Crummy Golden Age. Okay, so this one is another one of mine.
Great, great.
Doll Man number one. And I actually really like Doll Man just because it's where Torchy came from, and I also like Doll Girl, and I think it's a fun. There's one that I'm actually chasing after that I have never found yet, which is it's a Doll Man where he's like getting water tortured on the cover, and he's like basically he's tied to the faucets on the sink, and they're like pouring the faucet down onto him. It looks like waterboarding or something like that. I just think it's a great cover. But this one's not brittle pages. It's off white to white. So yeah.
And the
Um,
artist,
the artist is I have no idea.
is it Reed
Uh,
Crandall?
it doesn't say who the artist is. It says George Brenner art though, but I think it might be
That's the
interior.
interior. Reed Crandall, that's quality, is it not?
Yes, it should be. Yeah, Quality Comics,
See, because
1941.
the thing about quality comics was they said that the trope was that they
Hmm.
had the worst characters but the best artists. That's what they said
Really?
because the Red Bee.
I
Uh,
like Doll Man. Doll Man's
well,
awesome.
I know, but let's face
I
it,
like
Doll
Torchy
Man.
too.
Well,
So,
they but they had a really great stable of artists at quality.
okay. Well, I like Doll Man's.
Lou Fine, Reed Crandall, the whatever it is, the Black Condor. I mean, come on.
Okay. Okay, I gotta destroy your WoW book. So
Thank
I
you.
have to show something big to balance out your WoW.
I'll
So
start
just to kind of
AF-15. Wonder Woman 1. Oh, that's good.
reform schoolgirl. So this is a Sodi book. And it's just just one I had handy. Um So this is lower grade, but this is just a classic Sodi book. This was actually in the interior panels of The Seduction of the Innocent because of this cover. It's such a salacious cover, reformed schoolgirl, and then you got this girl, hiking up her stockings and smoking a cigarette and just looking like some kind of juvenile delinquent, and it's like encouraging kids to join her in her debauchery. It's like typically this is one that I really like. This was actually kind of one of my favorite from the Seduction of the Innocent collection, just because of its overtness, I guess. Um, and it even has bras on the back. So if you don't, it's got lots of stuff going for it. So this and the other cool thing, this has actually got a bit of a Canadian connection because she was a Canadian figure skater. So that's an extra bonus info there. So okay, so that's my three. I'm gonna let you show your last one. Hopefully, I didn't steal too
That
much of your thunder.
that no, no, that is a beautiful book. That is a book
Hmm.
that there are some books that are just that transcend, and that is one of them.
Hmm.
That is always a book that is in demand, and finding it in nice
Any
enough condition
condition,
to
yeah.
present. That book presents beautifully. It's a beautiful book. I've always loved that book. Um,
Either of you have a fantastic comics number three? No,
no, and
I
I never
actually
will. It's too expensive.
I've
They're
been
way
trying to
too
get a
expensive.
copy of that. I love that book actually.
As a
Who's the
as a
skater? I forgot her name. One sec here. I might see on the cover. No, it doesn't say.
Alan, Alan,
I used
do
to
you
know.
know what Alan? Do you know what device that she's hooking her stockings to? What it's called?
The garter,
It's a garter belt.
garter belt. Yeah, the garter belt. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's those
So
are
yes, I did know. If that.
yeah.
So there.
So there. Pierre does not scare. So there.
Okay.
This was uh, truly a bizarre book, again from Momo Comics. Uh, and the condition of this and the content and the mixing of the metaphors is really something. Just before Code, this is from August of 1953. And the stories inside featuring Spurs Jackson and his space vigilantes.
Okay.
Spurs Jackson. This is space Western comics.
Oh, okay. So Matt looked it up. It's Marty Collins.
Well, she was a very successful skater because she's just smoked a pack of Chesterfields every day, and she made sure her seams were straight when she went out on the ice, and she palled around with Sonia Henney and all that stuff, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
you go,
exactly.
and you're going to say, who in the hell is Sonia Henney, right?
I don't know who Sonia Henning is. Sorry, man.
Of course, you don't know who Sonia Henney
Sorry,
is.
I'm not. I don't know the dinosaurs. I don't know all my dinosaurs. Okay. Let's just go. I'm just making fun of you. Okay, go ahead.
So, okay, so this is Space Western Comics number 45
All right.
from August, and it's a Stan Campbell cover.
Mm-hmm.
And it has Walter Gibson for the story, Walter Gibson, who did The Shadow. And this is the last issue, and inside there is a Hitler appearance. But check this cover out.
Oh yes, you showed me this one. This one's quite nice. I always like that trope. That's a trope that I really like. The whole guy holding the girl and the damsel in distress kind of look. I had never seen this one before you showed it to me though.
I hadn't seen it either, and I went past it, and then I came back. And by the way, this is white pages.
Oh wow.
I mean, it is absolutely bright. What does it say here?
I mean, it's such
Jews
a
in
weird title too. Space Western.
space westerns,
Yeah.
space and westerns. Westerns.
Mhm.
How are we getting westerns? But we got a good girl. We've got pre-code western horror in space.
I know. It looks like
Could they?
there's a skull there in the corner as
Well,
well.
they got skeletons and bones. They got this weird space bat coming through the
I
wall
know.
with
What's with the bat? Yeah.
glowing eyes, and then you
Is
got the
that a bat
trail.
or an owl? It looks like almost like an owl with bat wings.
It's the no. You'll notice right here it says the moon bat.
Oh, it's a moon bat. That's why.
Yeah,
That's why
and
it looks like that. Okay.
she is overcoming Spurs Jackson in his with his strong arms and he wants Gene
Gene
Autry
Autry.
Space Cowboy. There you go, Lyle.
Yeah.
But look at her. I mean, she she's pointing up.
Definitely pointing up.
She is pointing up, and she is lovely, absolutely lovely. Stan Campbell, and then the
Hmm.
moon bat coming in, and then what's the shadows and all this other stuff, skulls, space western,
Wow.
isn't it? I mean, what the hell? I'm never. It's such a
I really like the
bizarre.
girl on it. Like I like the green and white stocking thing going on.
Yeah, she's got the little. She has the little fancy little
Loop
pom
boots.
pommy boots,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and she has the sort of drapey kind of dress that's sort of very familiar and friendly.
Hmm.
And Spurs is going to solve her problem here.
And what's that thing in the yellow where it's
It
like,
says tomorrow the universe, and there's a dagger. Oh, and if you look closely, it's a dagger with a knot with a swastika on the top.
oh wow.
It's hard to tell. Tomorrow
Yeah,
the
I can't
universe.
really see that. I'm on my phone, so I can't really see it. It's too small.
Okay,
But
yeah, it's hard to tell but it's a swastika. It's a black swastika with red accents around it. So they got a swastika knife. Tomorrow the universe. So there's some story. What is it? Is it quotes? Yeah. Tomorrow the universe. But the story that's the cover story with this gal, and it's actually signed Stan Campbell down by the in the
oh,
skull pile. Stan
nice.
Campbell signed it down there.
Very cool.
I'm not familiar with Stan Campbell either. I mean, I just saw the image, her proportions and how lovely she is, and I love green. The green
Hmm.
dress is just anyway, there it is.
Actually reminds me of another comic. Strangely, I don't know why. It reminds me of. I'll show a comic it reminds me of. Strangely. Just the girl reminds me of this girl I'm going to show.
This one is from August of 53, and the date stamp, which is nice because they put the date stamp on the back cover.
They should, that should be the way that they
The
do it
standard,
all the way.
because I come to this. Here you have a situation where, as a retailer, for your customers to have some clod take a
Put
date
stupid.
stamp and put it right across the chest of a girl or on her leg or across her eyes
Yeah,
is
I hate
is
that.
an insult. It is an insult to the customers who come to your newsstand. So
Hmm.
whoever the newsstand was on this one said, no, you stamp the back of the book so you don't screw up the cover. Now, if
Exactly.
it's placed now, I the caveat to that is if they put the stamp somewhere discreetly put on the cover, I have no problem with that. I just don't. But when it's obvious that they're defacing the art of the book, I just like that bonnets thing. I won't buy a bonnets book. There are 8
Hmm.
gazillion bonnets books that have this
I know
huge
where they have
bonnet
huge
stamp across
stamp on them. Yeah,
everything.
I have a
Screw
bonnets
them.
book. I have a couple bonnets books in my collection.
Yeah, screw them. I have no use for that crap. So this one is from June 18th, is it? June 18th, 1953 was when this book was on the newsstands. June of 53.
Very nice. I really like that one. It's
Isn't that
actually
a fun?
it's very simple, but it really has a
There's
lot
a
of things
lot to
going on.
see. There's a
Yeah.
lot to see in this thing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you let your eyes get in, and you'll notice the transition of the dark purpley blue at the top, down with the big bright red western and the green space, red western, yellow comics
Hmm.
for the trade dress, down to the concrete is busted off, the plaster is busted off the brick wall.
That's very true, Biggie.
It is a
Yeah.
space
So
western.
it was
You're
supposed to
right,
be like
Big.
a
It
spaghetti
was. It was
western style. Yeah.
every western trope that he could come up, Lucas could come up with. He admitted that.
Yeah.
So those are the books that just arrived. I will show this one more time, just so
Oh,
that you can.
one quick thing.
All
So
right.
this girl's outfit kind of reminds me of it. I don't know why. It's just it's. I know it's blue instead of green, but something about it just kind of like maybe it's the frilliness on the
The skirt
skirt.
as opposed to the boot tops, right?
This, yeah. So it's some and they're both blondes, but I don't know, something about that. Yours remind me of this one. I don't know why. Okay, so I
Fair
just
enough.
wanted to say it. I
I
just wanted
thought
to
it was the moon bat that made you think of it.
No, no, I was thinking that one. Okay. So you want to show those again or show something?
Well, I was just going to show this. I was just going to show this horror one more time because we started at the top of the program.
Oh yes, that's true.
I just wanted to show this one again because I just this cover and this genie guy, this genie with the pointy ears and stuff. He appears on quite a few of these covers.
Mm. Yeah, the funny thing is he doesn't look like a genie at all. He
No,
looks
he
like a
doesn't.
vampire. He looks like a vampire. I thought it was a vampire.
Yeah, this one has one of the largest good girl images of that. There always seems to be good girls in this, but it's what you and I talked about, Alan, was that
Mhm.
when in 47 going into 48 and then into 49 for good girl books, just standalone good girl books, that
Mm.
the word balloons and all that other stuff became it. They just crowded them out. And then the good girl stuff kind of went away as a standalone. But what they did was they basically fanned out and went into every genre. So you had cowboy good girl, space good girl, crime good girl, horror good girl, pre-code horror good girl. Good girls went everywhere. So the idea. So here's a PCH version of a good girl, where it's
Mhm.
always the damsel in distress, and or the how horrible that a beautiful girl is going to get molested or maligned or mangled by some monster guy, and
Mhm.
and it works.
Yeah.
All of us
No, I think it's
guys,
great.
all of us guys that buy this have the knight in shining armor syndrome. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, we want to rescue the girl from the
You got to
evil.
rest. That's I think that's genetic.
Mhm. I
Anyway,
get you.
I just think that's just a wild cover.
That is a great one. Okay.
So, do you have any other
So
crummy golden age to show?
no more crummy. Well, actually, I have a bunch here, but I'm not going to show it. Um, sorry guys, you don't get to see it. No, I actually have to wrap up the stream,
Okay.
and the reason why is I'm running out of my stream hours. It resets on the 28th, so I'll have more time again in the future, but just not. I'm just running out.
What would they
Um,
charge you? What would they charge you to have your time go longer? What do they
I'm
charge
not
you?
sure what happens. I'm not sure what happens. I don't know if they charge me something or do they just cut the stream. I don't know
Well, I
not
thought
sure what
that you
happens.
with the number of hours, it affects your
It's
ratios, it affects your the logarithm or whatever the hell it is.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. So yeah. So thanks everyone for watching though, and I do appreciate Stephen you showing those great books.
Thank you.
If you and just quickly again go over to all sorts of words on YouTube and search for Judo Man versus the Warmonger, and you can see us battle it out. And you can of course vote for your favorite martial artists of the two. And thanks,
Look
guys.
past the mundane when you look at the different books. Perceive the beauty and the eccentricities of what the warmonger brought. He may be a warmonger, but his books rock.
Yeah, don't I mean, yeah, Batman one, yeah, you're right. It is kind of mundane, a mundane book, and like the some of
You
those
notice,
LB
you notice,
Colson.
folks, how the water has changed, has warped his brain in Canada. If you look at their politicians, you can tell they're all drinking it. Uh, there's some terrible problem. It was a lot of fun. You'll enjoy the show.
Yeah, it was fun. It was we were just both being silly, which is not very different from our regular selves, but yeah, we were just being silly. Okay,
Thank
bye
Thanks,
guys.
Alan.